following program is intended for mature audiences.
You're listening to Basically a Sports Show.
Follow us on Twitter at Basically Sports.
Subscribe to our podcast on iTunes.
And download every episode and more at basicallyasportshow.com.
Now here's your hosts, Zach,
Greg,
Mike.
And you're listening to Basically a Sports Show.
I do have to say, you are more fluent in Spanish than I am in French.
Sí, un poquito español, porque yo necesito español en Southern California.
Porque no tengo un sombrero.
Will Ferrell is now changing dugouts.
Is he now?
He's gotta take off his Angels stuff.
He made a nice play on that hit that he fielded. He did a pretty good
fielded
job
the ball
on
in
that.
center field.
Yeah.
Got it to the cutoff man.
He showed good form, too. He was backing up plays well and moving on the ball well when it was hit. Not bad. And they say there's no reason to watch spring training baseball.
So I want to ask.
The only spring training I will watch.
So I wanted to ask Zach, did you see that unofficial gritty reboot of Power Rangers?
No, I didn't actually get a chance to look at it.
I watched a little bit of it.
You can still find it if you poke around on the net. It's just not on YouTube.
Didn't Bandai
No, not Bandai.
Saban, whatever.
Yeah, the company that owns it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Saban got pissy over it, even though it's objectively awesome.
Isn't it like a student film?
No. It's actually it's made by a guy who was one of the writers on the Power Rangers TV series.
And he just put it on YouTube. It's not like it's
He's
not making money off of it.
He paid for everything himself. He's not taking money off over it. So it's like
get over yourself, Saban.
I think Saban's main objection is that they took this kid-friendly property and then just put a bunch of violence and sex in it.
What I saw of it was really well done.
Yeah, the thing that really made me get excited about it was when they cut to Zach the Black Ranger, and he's doing lines of coke, and I'm like, okay, I love what this is doing.
Wasn't Vanderbeek in it?
Yeah, he played Rocky.
The Beak.
Yeah, and Starbuck from the new Battlestar Galactica was in it too.
So you're telling me
I don't
that
want your laugh.
The people behind Power Rangers were not happy that one of them was doing lines of coke?
Yeah.
Is that what the problem was?
Well, I mean, we already lived in a world where the Black Ranger was black.
And the Yellow Ranger was Asian.
And the Pink Ranger is a girl.
Was a Valley girl, yeah. And
Let me think for a second. What can I draw from that? Let me think here. Wow, that's really amazing.
The White Ranger was white.
The White Ranger and the leader. The White Ranger was a white guy who was the leader.
Yeah,
perfect.
And then on top of all of that, I think at one point the Red Ranger was a Native American.
Oh, of course.
At one point, during one of the 700 iterations of Power Rangers, yeah.
And then there was
in the Mighty Morphin, he was some white guy.
Yeah. And then there's another one, which is less obvious, but still makes me chuckle. At one point, the Green Ranger was Jewish, which is funny because green is the color of money.
I got that right away, which I don't know what that says about me. Probably nothing good, I'm sure.
If you ever want some good Power Rangers lols, go to YouTube and just search Zordon is a racist.
Yeah, that's a good one.
It's like, hey, Kimberly should be the leader. She's student council president. A girl leader. You're not going to scare Lord Zed off your period, honey.
So...
Yeah.
I don't know much about Power Rangers other than the fact that Bryan Cranston played one way back in the day. He was actually one of the guys in the costumes.
Yeah, he was the Blue Ranger.
Yeah. Now, what would the Blue Ranger? What would he stand for?
Wasn't he the blonde-haired, blue-eyed one?
Yeah,
the Aryan one.
The Aryan Ranger.
Is Will Ferrell going to bat in this game, or is he just playing the field?
I know he's going to play all the positions. I don't know if he's going to bat or not.
Oh, that's too bad.
I would like him to.
So Will Ferrell is an Angels fan, huh?
He was born and raised in Orange County. Went to University High School.
Oh, see, I had no idea where he was from.
Yeah, he's from Irvine. Just up here.
Oh, so he couldn't get a nice, easy can of corn like the Cubs center fielder just got there, where we could have saw him make a real play.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there was the 2-run home run that he wasn't going to get.
Yeah.
Then there was a fly out to left. Then the single up the middle that he fielded decently.
Yep.
And then a fly out to right and a double play. Or not a double play. Should have been a double play, but they bobbled the ball at center.
Yeah, like I was telling you before, Zach, he even looks a little bit like Josh Hamilton, so why not, you know?
Suit him up.
Suit him up.
He can't hit worse than
Yeah, he can hit 190 for a hell of a lot less money, I think. Poor Josh Hamilton, man. That's rough.
They're still deciding on what to give him, too.
Well, you know, I don't know if you guys remember, this was when, it was probably in 2005 or 2006, they had a big article about him and his problems and all that. And after I read that article, the biggest surprise for me with this whole thing with him now is that it took this long, because that dude was seriously, like, hooked, and just, I'm surprised he was ever able to get clean in the first place. It's amazing.
Mm-hmm. He got clean, and then supposedly in Texas he had somebody that was basically his babysitter.
Right.
And the Angels don't have that.
They did. I guess they just got rid. They had a guy that went with him, or that kept an eye on him at, all the time. And then the Angels would only pay for that guy to be on the road. And I guess part of, there are people out there that are
can
saying
still get Coke in OC.
Yeah,
I can confirm that. not by personal.
Can you, Zach?
Not by personal experience, but by personal experience. I haven't done the Coke. But I was at a party where I went into the bathroom and there were just a bunch of people huddled around the sink. I walked in, you see it, it's like, I kind of have to piss. But I'm going to go upstairs, I guess.
It's still doing the bathroom thing and everybody hiding out together, huh? That's so 80s.
Well, this was in like...
I assumed in the 80s everyone was just doing it open.
No. Oh, no. No, back in the 80s, Mike, you had to... If you had Coke, you were really cool, and you'd be like... You would walk into the room at the party and choose someone to go, come on. And it was one of those deals, and you would let them share their cocaine with you, you see.
Gotcha.
You know what Coke and Trivial Pursuit have in common, don't you?
What's that?
They both make you stay up all night talking about things you know nothing about with people you positively can't stand.
I guess, do you want to start off the NFL talk that we, never got to?
Well, thankfully there's been more since then, too.
Okay.
Yeah, wherever you guys want to go is fine by me. I guess I can redo my rant that the Browns signed Harpo McCown, which just...
I still find that hilarious that the Browns QB options are going to be Johnny Football or one of the two McCowns, and it really doesn't matter which one.
No, they're all interchangeable at this point.
Oh, Ferguson blew up again. That's
Ferguson,
lovely.
Missouri?
Yeah.
Oh, shit, what happened this time?
Police officer got killed.
Yeah, two officers got shot last night outside. They were standing guard outside the police.
And that's all I'm going to say about Ferguson, because nope.
Wow, well, we know what's going to happen on the boards now.
Hopefully.
Mod team, DEFCON 5.
No kidding.
Nothing.
Is it, it's...
Oh, Cubs fan 2015 posted. This is going to be a wealth of insight.
Oh, boy.
Okay, leaving Ferguson alone.
Yeah.
All right.
So where are we at on the NFL?
Free agency started. It's been said a couple times, and I'm starting to agree with it more and more. The NFL offseason is more entertaining than a lot of regular seasons.
It really kind of is.
Yeah. Well, let's see.
Titus Young.
The NFL, the gift that never stops giving.
Well, let's see. Going off of the NFL.com, they ranked the top 101 free agency signings.
Well, I'm sure that the Browns and Harpo McCown right there at number one, right?
No.
Surprisingly, no. Wow.
No. We had talked about it. I think we had mentioned this already, but it was official that Ndamukong Suh became a Miami Dolphin.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Leaving the...
I'm shocked about that, actually. I figured he'd be on Detroit.
Like, he was asking for too much money.
Yeah.
And they didn't want to franchise tag him because then he would be paid more money than he was even asking for.
Mm-hmm.
So
I don't know that he's worth putting a big investment into. He's a good player, but
yeah, the contract he signed with Miami, 6 years, $114 million with $60 million guaranteed.
I think he's actually his disciplinary problems aside, which in my opinion have actually blown out of proportion. I think this is a case where where his reputation has probably kind of hurt him more than anything he's ever necessarily done. But that's a different discussion. I think he's a solid player if you're trying to build a defense from scratch. Like if you're looking to revitalize your defense, he's a good centerpiece.
Sure, but does he? That's the thing, though. Is he a break the bank centerpiece? Is my thing. I don't see him as like a J.J. Watt or a Reggie White or who's it like Lawrence Taylor.
No one else is a J.J. Watt.
But you know what I'm saying, though. I mean, I just don't know that a defensive tackle, if I'd load that much money into. I mean, I'm not saying he's not a good player, that he's not going to make a difference, but that's just an awful lot of your salary cap to tie up in that position is the way I look at it. But we'll see.
They immediately replaced him by trading for Haloti Ngata from the Ravens, which I think is fine, actually.
Yeah, that's not a bad move. Really. Yeah.
Or, where did Vince Wilfork go?
Oh, my God. Vince Wilfork left the Patriots?
Well, yeah, they cut him.
Oh, geez. That's the end of an era, man. Everybody, we all talk about the Brady-Belichick era, but to me it's always been the Vince Wilfork era. He was there for all these Super Bowls, too. Come on.
I'm sure that's what everyone's going to
That's how it's going to go down in history, right? Yeah.
Brady and Belichick, they were good, but
it was all about Vince Wilfork. There will be the contrarian out there in 10 years that will say exactly that, Mike. You know that, right?
He's still. Yeah, I thought he signed with. I thought I remember him signing with the Lions, but that's wrong. He's still a free agent.
Hey, call the Browns. He's right there, just waiting. What is he? About 64 years old.
Darrelle Revis got his Super Bowl with New England, and then got his payday with the Jets, going back to New York. 5 years, $70 million with $39 million guaranteed.
Okay, now wait a minute. Didn't the Jets kind of let him slide in the first place over money?
Yeah.
And now they're bringing him back. A year older, mind you.
2 years older.
2 years older, and paying him. That's sounds about right. That's right on par for the Jets, I would say.
The Jets have also they've done a lot.
Have they though?
They traded for Brandon Marshall.
Okay. Yeah, but you still got to have somebody to get him the ball.
Yeah.
They signed Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Ooh, Fitzmagic.
As I was saying, you still got to have somebody to get him the ball.
They re-signed Antonio Cromartie today. Mm-hmm. They're decent on defense.
I don't know.
They have a little bit going for them on offense.
I see them picking up the rear of this division, honestly. Not to get into a whole prediction thing, but as I said last week, which didn't actually happen because of internet problems, I honestly, I'm picking the Bills as the dark horse to win the division, because I think they've got an offense that can move the ball efficiently and grind the clock down, and they have a defense that I think is perfectly suited for swallowing up and smothering Tom Brady, and let's face it, you have to be able to beat Tom Brady and the Patriots if you want a chance at this division.
Yeah.
But you also have faith in Matt Castle.
I have faith in Matt Castle to be a game manager. Nothing more, but that's all he needs to be. You
know what's funny is I don't have as much irrational confidence in Matt Castle as I do in a guy like Jake Locker, but I'm with Mike. I think under the right circumstances, Castle won't kill you. Not saying he's going to be great or anything, but under the right circumstances.
It's going to be between the Bills and Dolphins, because I think the Dolphins made themselves better by getting Sue for defense. And
Tannehill continues to improve.
Right. Their offense has gotten better and better as time's gone on. Mm-hmm. So I think it's going to be interesting. But, yeah, the Jets are still going to be the worst.
Well, you still got, I said this last time, I'll say it again. Every year we write off the Patriots, and I don't know. I mean,
the Patriots are probably going to win the division again.
This past season, everyone wrote them off when Kansas City killed them, and then it was just the end of Tom Brady, and then Brady just got Brady.
Well, I think even at the beginning of football, when we were doing the basically a football show preview, Zach and I were even talking that this.
Well, you guys were also picking the Bucs to make a playoff run at the Saints to win the Super Bowl. So.
They made a playoff run. That's it. You can say what you want, but it happened.
They were right there till the very end.
We were at about week 11, I think, and we were actually talking that they were still in it.
They were only like a game out at like 2-7.
But anyway.
See, rolling down. Julius Thomas leaves Denver and signs with Jacksonville.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of somebody you need to get the ball to.
5 years, $24 million is guaranteed.
Did he just be like, you know what? Playoff football is boring for me. I'm just going to
Well, he won't have to worry about that for a while.
I think it's also partially when someone in the NFL, when someone gives you a big contract,
you take it.
How short your career can be.
Yeah.
You gotta take
absolutely
the money when you can get it.
I can't blame anybody in the NFL for signing a big free agency deal, because I wish I had the memory to go back even 5 years ago and talk about who the top players were 5 years ago. I guarantee you 60% of them aren't even playing today.
Yeah, things change so quickly in the NFL, and I think that's one of the reasons why it makes their free agent season a little bit more interesting than the rest.
Yeah.
Because with the way the salary cap works and the way that guaranteed contracts don't necessarily mean that you have to fulfill the full entirety of the contract. Guys can get cut. Guys get waived. Guys get, franchise tagged. There's just so much stuff that can go on with an NFL team. And, I mean, you see it with how teams can be super awful and then win the division the next year because there's so much turnover on a football roster year to year.
Yeah.
Let's see. The one that happened today, which kind of is a prime example of exactly what we're talking about. DeMarco Murray wasn't re-signed by Dallas because they had to put the franchise tag on Des Bryant because that locked up money. And unless he was going to take a pay cut, he wasn't going to come back to the Cowboys. So the Eagles come in and they give him a 5-year, $40 million deal with $20 million guaranteed. And DeMarco Murray goes from being a MVP candidate for the Cowboys to being the number 1 running back in Philly after the departure of LaShawn McCoy to Buffalo.
Wow.
What's going on in Philly?
I don't understand what's going on in Philly. Part of me thinks that Chip Kelly is just kind of going scorched earth. And
I think he's swinging for the fences, basically, right?
No, I think he's going scorched earth. I think he's perhaps maybe tired of it, and he's just burning the team down so he can get the next highest paying college job that comes up. I don't know, but I can't figure out what he's doing with this team.
Are they still talking about making the whatever it takes deal to get Mariota in Philadelphia?
Not anymore.
Not because let's stick with the Eagles here for a second because they made the trade for LaShawn McCoy to Buffalo for Kiko Alonso, and then they trade Nick Foles and a second-round pick to St. Louis for Sam Bradford.
Holy hell! I thought I was dreaming that because I was half asleep. That really happened.
No, nobody's gonna. That's just
no.
Stupid.
I was I was watching ESPN and I was half asleep the other day, and I'm like, nah. I was just, I must be half dreaming. That really happened, huh?
Nick Foles in a second for Sam Bradford in a second.
Wow.
Possibly a conditional third-round pick, I think.
All right, Mike, I'm with you. It's a scorched earth thing. You're right.
No, you know what was brought up in the NFL thread that it's possible? He's Costnering right now. Remember Draft Day, Greg?
Oh!
I've never seen it, so I don't know.
I've never seen Draft Day?
Either.
No.
I finally saw it on HBO a little while ago. Kevin Costner makes some absolutely asinine moves, but
it all works out, right?
It all ends up working out somewhere or another. I don't want to spoil it for you.
That's okay.
Well, please do not spoil the masterpiece that is Draft Day.
But he's just basically it starts off with the owner says, well, we need you to make a splash, and
is it actually the Browns owner?
No,
it's Frank Langella, the actor. Yeah.
Yeah.
Who wears sunglasses all the time? What was the reason for that? Or was it just because he just wanted to look cool?
Or is
I think it was because he wanted to be
or is it an alternate universe where Al Davis owns the Browns?
I think, it was one of those douchebag owner things that he's wanted to portray. So he wants him to make a big splash. But Kevin Costner, his dad, used to be the coach, and he had to fire his father the previous season.
Oh, you're kidding.
And then 2 weeks after firing him, his dad died.
Okay, you do realize that if that actually happened, that's all anyone on ESPN would be talking about. No one would give a shit about the actual draft.
Kevin Costner has to, and he's talking to all these prospects, and he needs to make a splash. So does he draft the running back that Dennis Leary, his John Gruden facsimile? By the way, Dennis Leary is supposed to be John Gruden in this movie. It's so completely obvious.
Yeah.
Because they describe him early on in the movie as Kevin Costner's well, he's not that good of a coach. He's a guy that came in with somebody else's players and won a championship.
Oh, geez.
He's John Gruden.
Yeah, you don't want to hit that one too much on the nose or anything, huh? Wow.
I still maintain, though, that Dennis Leary and Kevin Costner could do a better job at running the actual Browns than the Yahoos that they have.
I have to agree. I think I agree, yeah. But so you think that's – well, I don't know, man. I don't know what's going on with the Eagles. But we talked about Bradford before. I think this is good for the Rams because they're out from underneath him now.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
And his ridiculous contract.
Yeah.
Ridiculous contract, yeah. But I think Chip Kelly supposedly thinks that Sam Bradford's going to be the quarterback now. That they're not going to make that move for Mariota. Because you see all these crazy moves and you're like, he has to be trying to set himself up to trade for Mariota, right?
You know what? I'm actually going to draw on history for a moment here. Napoleon III of the Second French Empire. Okay, hear me out.
Traded his running back in a third-round pick.
He traded
to Nazi Germany.
Napoleon III started making a bunch of these nonsensical military alliances that seemed to serve no purpose from a strategic point of view. Everyone, because he was related to the original Napoleon, who was a genius, thought that, he's some genius. Everything looks nonsensical, but it's all part of some master plan that he's going to snap into motion. Otto von Bismarck, the Chancellor of Prussia, which became Germany, said, he's not a genius, he's just an idiot. And that might be what's going on with Chip Kelly. Everyone sees all of these moves like, we don't understand it now, but just wait until it all snaps into place. No. Maybe Chip Kelly is either, one, intentionally trying to burn the team down, or two, an idiot.
Yeah, you know what? It's an idiot. It's just as possible as anything else in the NFL. Mm-hmm. It's such a crapshoot, but... I
mean, people think he's a genius because he holds up giant cards on the sidelines and has a weird offense, but it could just be that he's kind of an idiot. I mean, that is a possibility.
Yeah, that's certainly... I'm down with that. I think that's a perfectly legitimate explanation, theory.
Right. The other thing that happened with Philly is that Frank Gore was supposedly going to sign there. And then when he got there, he said that he didn't get a good vibe or something.
Hey.
And, he was going to sign, but he just didn't feel right about signing there for some reason.
Okay.
So then he decided to turn around and sign with the Colts.
Congratulations.
Right, we have a semi-competent running back.
2 years too late, but yeah.
You're working to ride the Trent Richardson train out?
Well, Trent Richardson was minutes ago officially waived.
Wow.
So no
it took him that long, huh?
Well, yeah. I mean, there's paperwork that needs to be filed. And they also signed Andre Johnson from Houston.
Who, the Colts?
Crap. So Andrew Luck actually has someone to give the ball to.
The Colts got Andre Johnson? That's not a bad move.
No,
he's another guy that's a little long in the tooth, but still, you get
right. But they said they weren't going to re-sign Reggie Wayne, which of course breaks my heart. But Andre Johnson can fill the Reggie Wayne role just as well. I mean, Andre Johnson's not a bad receiver, especially when he has a really good quarterback like Andrew Luck. So that's a couple interesting moves. They also signed the Colts did Trent Cole from the Eagles to bring Philly back into this to help bolster the defense a little bit. Maybe someone that knows how to tackle.
Well, that'd be nice.
Yeah, that'd be a good move.
Wow, so Philly's just kind of gone a little bit crazy in this whole thing, haven't they?
Yeah, well, they also signed Ryan Matthews of the Chargers to a 2-year contract.
It's kind of like they saw the dysfunction in the Redskins. I'm like, no, we can be the most dysfunctional team in the NFC.
I think it's very interesting that Frank Gore got there and just had this thing like, you know what, I'm going to stay out of this. That's really telling to me, I think, that a player would do that.
There was also some whispers that people in the middle of the week were like, well, maybe Chip Kelly's actually a racist. It's just like, what?
I don't think he's a racist. I just kind of think he's kind of an idiot at this point.
How can he? What's the reasoning for him being a racist?
That Riley Cooper's still on the team, and that the way that he kind of trades around guys like their property or something. I don't know.
Well, okay, trading around guys like their property is the basis of professional sports at this point,
especially the NFL.
I know.
Yeah. And as for Riley Cooper, it's like, okay, Adrian Peterson is still on a team. Okay,
right.
Being a douchebag is unfortunately not being a douchebag and a horrible person is not grounds for being dismissed in the NFL.
I mean, really, if just using the N-word the way he did, that's, considering all the things that happened this year, that's pretty far down the list as far as transgressions go.
I mean, he just used a racial slur. He didn't physically assault anyone.
No. Didn't knock his wife out in an elevator or anything. So Philly's going to be very interesting.
Philly's going to be weird. Yeah.
Who is there? Oh, Sam Bradford. Okay,
Sam Bradford.
I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that. I mean, I don't think Bradford was ever that good. Even when he was healthy and playing well, I don't think he was that great.
The only thing I could see working out in that is maybe it's an environment thing, and things just never worked out in St. Louis, so that change of scenery might be what he needs.
Could be.
But at the same time. But it's just as likely that in the preseason he breaks his leg in 3 spots and then they're screwed. So,
well, the other thing that's interesting about Nick Foles going to St. Louis, I think the Rams are going to be good, really good.
Mm-hmm. Well, they showed signs last year.
Yeah,
the defense was real tough, and I'm not sold on Foles either. But
I think he's going to be better for them than Sean Hill was.
Well, yeah. I think
Austin what was the guy? Austin Rivers?
I don't remember.
Austin Rivers is Doc Rivers' son who plays in the NBA. It's not Austin something. I mean, that whole division's weird because now, we can move over to the next one that was on the list, and that kind of transition to something else. Mike Upati, who was a guard for the 49ers, leaves the 49ers and signs with the Arizona Cardinals. And I think that's a big move for their offensive line.
Definitely.
But that also is more of a thing about the San Francisco 49ers.
Oh, geez. You talk about a sinking ship.
I liked the theory put forth that the 49ers, that the owners made the team competitive just long enough to get their super stadium. And now that they have that, they're just intentionally scaling everything back to put on a crappy product. Basically the theory that, once Harbaugh did... Pardon?
What'd you say, Zach?
Keep going.
Oh, the theory basically is that the team... that they used Harbaugh to basically build the team up. So they got people excited about him. They got them their new stadium in the suburbs. And now that all that's said and done, they're going to start running the team cheaply again because they've got everything they need.
Well, I don't know how long the stadium deal was in place, but it sure kind of looks that way. But they just, I don't know. It seems like there's a lot of ego involved there. I don't think they like the fact that Harbaugh was, really kind of bigger than the team and all that. But geez, they're going to be a disaster this year.
Say what you will about Jim Harbaugh as a person. Fact is, he had more success than that team had ever previously seen since Steve Young retired.
Yeah.
So it's one of those situations where it's is he kind of was Harbaugh, did he have a huge ego? Did he kind of overshadow the team? Yeah, in some ways he did, but he won.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, well, go ahead, Zach.
Sorry, I might be a little bit delayed or something right now. So Frank Orr leaves, Upati leaves. They're not going to re-sign Crabtree, I think.
Kaepernick's in trade rumors.
Right, there was the rumors about them trading Kaepernick to the Eagles.
Which may still happen, who knows?
Which, supposedly those are untrue and that's not going to happen, but yeah, that's a sinking ship.
Definitely.
It's a sinking ship.
And, the Cardinals are going to be better. They get a quarterback. The Seahawks traded for Jimmy Graham.
Wow.
They had to trade away their Pro Bowl center Matt Unger and I think a second-round pick.
That
might be a little bit of a loss, but Jimmy Graham gives them an offensive passing weapon for one.
Yeah, but you know what though? I'm still with Keith Olbermann. I think that team. I think that Super Bowl last year destroyed that team. I really do.
I missed that particular Keith Olbermann rant, I guess. Care to elaborate on that?
He just said that he gave out. I think we talked about it once before. Where he gave all these examples when something like this happens, you have to blow up the team.
Oh, okay.
But for all the examples he gave, Zach came up with a bunch that was like, well, yeah, but this happened and they didn't have to do that. But I think in this case, because I really do think that decision and just the way it all played out in the locker room, I really think that's going to tear them apart. Plus, you got to remember, at one point during the season, there was a lot of talk about things not being so great there during the season. That the players were sniping at each other, and winning cures all ills. But
yeah, that's what I would. That was kind of what I was going to add. Last season, it's not like the Seahawks were the picture of team harmony.
Right.
So if there are underlying problems, winning cures everything, but they didn't exactly win last time. So it's going to be and Russell Wilson, if I remember correctly, was one of the targets of all that speculation that he wasn't well liked. Well, how is that going to play now that technically he's the guy who threw the interception that killed their chance at a repeat at the Super Bowl?
Right. Well, isn't he up for a contract this year too? I mean, don't they have to pay him at some point? I thought this was his year. Yeah.
It might be one more season, I think.
I think it's this year. San Francisco's a perfect example. I mean, 2 years ago.
As far as Jackson's up.
Oh well. Better set aside a big bunch of money for him. But just look at San Francisco. I mean, they're 2 years removed from a Super Bowl appearance, and now they're oh man, it just moves so fast in the NFL.
I'm just saying, Alex Smith, he could have probably done just as well as Kaepernick. It's not like Kaepernick lit the world on fire when all was said and done.
No.
So what else we got on the free agent signings here? This is fun.
Let's see. Torrey Smith signed with the 49ers. Jeremy Maclin, another guy that left the Eagles, signs in Kansas City.
So well, God knows they need a wide receiver in Kansas City. They did go the entire season without scoring a touchdown to a wide receiver, right?
Right, and they let Dwayne Bowe go today. That was their main guy for a while, but he was terrible. Last season, obviously not catching a touchdown, and wasn't great the year before either.
Yeah.
NFL, you need to fix this free agency list because it's awful to navigate through.
Their whole website's awful to navigate through.
Yeah, it's strange for the most popular sport in the country. They have a terrible website.
They really do.
Opposed to, I think MLB.com's not great either. I think MLB.com might be worse. NBA's a little bit better. I think the NHL has probably the best website.
The NHL has a great website in theory, but then you see the puns that whoever writes the top stories make, and it's just, no. Okay, the first story, oh boy, Chuck. God damn it. God damn it. Or for the Vancouver game, that's more lack it.
Oh, God.
This could be a weekly segment where we just go through all the puns. No, it's even worse after the games at night when you actually have a game result. Yeah. I don't know how many times I've seen Ducks clipped or Anaheim quacks back or things of that nature.
I'm sorry, I'm having coughing fits in between our laughter here.
Do you need to draw us a map of your coughing fit?
No, fortunately, I'm not behind the wheel of a car right now.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Since you didn't actually get this to be recorded for posterity, Greg, the Cleveland Browns and the signing of Josh McCown.
Yeah, nice move.
Didn't they sign a wide receiver, Brian Hartline?
Brian Hartline? Yeah, he's a former Buckeye. I don't know if he's actually from Ohio or not. I just, this whole, God, what a disaster. I mean, it doesn't matter. Now they could come back with
Cleveland that's embodied by the brown face mask. I think of McCown's.
He does have that darker, more rich orange feel about him, doesn't he?
You mean the rich orange represents the passion of the dog pound?
Yeah, I think there's Harpo McCown definitely represents that. Yeah, what a freaking disaster of a franchise. I mean, my God. You've got all these problems with how bad they are and everything else. And the big news of the free agent season for the Browns is we signed Harpo McCown. That's the big news. And Brian freaking Hartline. Come on.
Yeah, man.
Go Packers, right?
I mean, seriously. Well, yeah, absolutely. I just don't know how they can expect anyone to put up with the nonsense that this team is. I don't remember. I can't think of an NFL franchise that has been this just horrible for such an extended period of time like this.
The Cardinals franchise, I guess, across 3 cities, maybe.
Yeah, that's true.
But then again, the Cardinals actually made moves to make themselves better this offseason. Plus, they made it to the Super Bowl that one time, so that's more than the Browns can say.
Right, there's there are 3 teams that have never made a Super Bowl, and 5 of them are the Browns.
Yeah,
it is strange that when you think of teams that haven't made the Super Bowl, they're 2 of them are legacy franchises with the Browns and
the Lions.
The
Lions.
Yeah.
I guess
the other ones make sense, like the Jaguars.
Yeah, the Jaguars. Yeah, that makes perfect sense. But I guess the Browns and the Lions are very similar in that respect.
Except the Lions actually are the original Lions, whereas the Browns. went through that thing where they moved to Baltimore, but they really didn't, even though they did.
That's my whole thing, though. When you add all of it together, the move in '95, and then this absolute disaster that this franchise has been since they've moved back. Can anybody really blame me for switching teams at this point? I mean,
I don't
honestly,
think anyone can. Although, if I were you, I would watch out for the Cleveland sports fan Gestapo who will declare that you're not a real Ohio sports fan.
I don't care. That's fine.
Go Leafs, go! Woo!
Yeah, so, Mike, I would really love to I would love for the national or international, North American discussion about hockey to be about the playoffs and the exciting races and the potential playoff
Wait a minute.
matchups and who's MVP and who's the best defenseman, but no.
Have the
We
Leafs
to
kind
sit
of
here
turned
every
into the
goddamn week
Are
and talk
the-
about your stupid, awful Maple Leafs.
I was just gonna
because
say-
they can't keep them in their pants.
So what do they do now?
Where to start, really? Well, we missed the trade deadline coverage. We tried to talk about it, but technical difficulties.
Right.
So on TSN's Trade Center, their trade deadline coverage,
Yes.
they were running tweets along the bottom.
Yeah.
And in one of those tweets, it said something like they should trade Lupol.
No, they wanted them to keep Lupol because he was fucking Dion Phaneuf's wife.
Right. Well, that he's banging Dion's wife.
Yeah.
That's been said.
Yeah.
Dion Phaneuf's wife is actress Elisha Cuthbert. You might know her from The Girl Next Door.
I do not, but okay.
No, she's good in it.
She's not a bad-looking woman.
No. So Joffrey,
Which is impressive for Dion Phaneuf because he is not a standout-looking kind of guy.
No, but again, Sean Avery will tell you that she's just sloppy seconds anyway.
Ah, well, Sean Avery says it.
He's kind of like the Alabama in this argument, I think. All right.
No, but Sean Avery's all for gay marriage. He loves it. He designs purses.
So is Alabama.
So Joffrey and Dion and Elisha Cuthbert were trying to organize a lawsuit against TSN for slander or whatever.
Which is really stupid because it was probably just some fucking intern who thought it was hilarious and let it get on air.
Right. Well, the thing is that these things are supposed to be vetted and looked over, and that they should have never made air. So not only did they try to start the lawsuit, but Joffrey Lupol decided that he was going to be Instagram justice warrior, and was just like he put up something on Instagram, and then he responded to every comment against him, like, "Oh, I'm going to come after you now too, buddy."
The thing about
Joffrey, shut up.
The thing about Lupol that people need to understand is that the man has no sense of humor.
No.
The man has no
Joffrey
sense
thinks
of
he's
levity.
awesome.
He has no sense of levity or perspective on anything.
Yeah. As a two-time member of the Ducks, I can vouch for that. Yes. They tried to make a joke segment with him called In the Loops, and that didn't work. The other thing going on with the freaking Leafs, because they couldn't go a week without something happening. Nazem Kadri, always a lightning bolt for the Maple Leafs.
God damn
He was 5 minutes late to a team meeting the other day. So he got scratched from the next game.
Because that's the appropriate response to being 5 minutes late.
Okay, but I can see one game, all right, you're trying to send a message, fine. The Maple Leafs then decided that they were going to suspend him an extra 2 games after that.
Just because?
It's the thing is, it's with the first suspension. Yeah, he was 5 minutes late, but there's a lot to the Nazem Kadri story that adds to maybe there's some turmoil amongst the Maple Leafs, management. With him, and so it was we'll suspend you 1 game, but then we'll suspend you 2 more because we just don't really like you all that much, Nazem.
Which I don't get, because Nazem Kadri is one of their most promising young players they've had in a while. For some reason,
Please, you think the Maple Leafs are going to not treat somebody nice because they're talented? Look what they've done to Phil Kessel.
Oh, Phil. But
why don't you all just leave Dion alone, guys? He's our best defenseman. He plays really hard. Why are you so mad at him all the time?
I love how Phil Kessel has become unglued this season. It's all finally just piled on too much, and it just came crashing down. But
this is, I know, the Maple Leafs are just this season. They've been they've been the most interesting off-ice team all season. Mm-hmm. Because nobody could really care at this point whether they win or lose. Because it was, well, when's Randy going to get fired? Oh, Randy's fired? Well, now they're just going to try to evaluate talent. Oh, wait, they're actually bad? Look at everyone just, collapse under the pressure.
Who would have thought that Randy Carlisle was the glue holding the team together?
No
Phil
shit.
Kessel's a coach killer. Dion Phaneuf is terrible. Why don't you just leave Dion alone? Stop saying that...
Stop saying bad things about Dion.
Right. Just yeah. Now you have the Kadri thing to just add on to everything.
The thing about
everything that's Maple Leaf.
The thing about Kadri is, and part of the conspiracy theories that I've been hearing is that they docked him another 2 games because they're in full-on tank mode, and Kadri's one of their few players who can consistently produce. So, yeah, let's keep him off the ice as long as possible.
Well, yeah, I mean, if you want to lose, you probably want to keep your best players off the ice, right?
Buffalo just traded their hot goaltender so they could suck even more. You've got to do something to keep up. Quick, bench Kadri.
Yeah, I don't know what the Leafs are. The only thing that could really save the Leafs, well, I think, and really the thing that will make the Leafs finally make a move is whether or not they win the draft lottery. And if they win the draft lottery and they get Connor McDavid, then maybe they keep Kadri and Kessel and Phaneuf and try to push forward and say, well, now we have a generational franchise-changing talent. Or they lose the lottery, they still end up picking 5th or 6th or whatever they are right now. And then they say, well, maybe we should just start this thing over and trade Phil and trade Dion and move on.
My theory, what I would do is I'd go all out on McDavid. I'd wait until the lottery happens, and then if I don't get it, I'd trade whatever I need to trade to get that number 1 pick.
You think anybody's going to do that?
Buffalo has worked years for this moment.
Right.
They're not going to just give it away to someone.
Buffalo. I love how Buffalo is so committed to this. Yeah, sure, we'll take Evander Kane even though he's out for the season. Oh, quick!
By the way, remember when they traded their good goalie, Michael Neuvirth, because he won 3 or 4 for Chad Johnson?
Yeah.
Chad Johnson plays 1 game with Buffalo, injures his ankle, they throw a fucking parade. Our goalies are injured. Yes, this is working out awesome.
What's going to happen in that city if they don't get that number 1 pick?
Well, if they see the thing, as long as they finish last, as long as they finish dead last, they will be fine.
Because then they at least have the number 2 pick, and
right, they'll either get Connor McDavid or they'll get Jack Eichel with the number 2.
And either are pretty good for
right. McDavid's probably better, but Eichel is still a very good player.
You're not dropping off. Like, say, okay, obviously McDavid's the top. How much of a drop off, percentage wise, is Eichel from that? 10, 15, what? 20?
8%.
Well, that's not bad.
10%.
See, I'm still pulling that we're going to get that dream scenario where McDavid goes to the Leafs and Eichel goes to the Sabres, and then everything works out perfectly.
Because Eichel's an American kid, and you put him in the American market, or he goes. McDavid goes to Toronto to be the savior.
Mm-hmm.
But the other thing is, even if McDavid's still good for Buffalo too, because essentially Buffalo's a Toronto suburb.
Well, it's interesting because McDavid is one of the few Canadian hockey players who actually said he'd be excited to be drafted by the Leafs. So,
that's wild.
Yeah, so
the Canadian players don't want to play there.
Well, I kind of don't blame them because in the last 10 years or so, the corporate culture with Toronto has just become so fucking toxic. Basically, MLSE needs to give the entire team an enema, and I don't mean just the players. They need to completely fire
shove something up their ass.
Yeah, basically. they need to clean everything out. From the top level management down, they just need to get new people who to build something up from scratch. Because I don't know, the way that they've been doing it with the same group of people at the highest reaches, it's just going to permeate the same kind of depressed culture there. So
you're thinking they just got to hit the reset button, essentially?
No, I don't mean just hard. So it's not just the
right.
roster that they need to reset.
You're talking like just blow it to bits and start over again.
Yeah. But the problem is that MLSE is so fucking large and sprawling as a corporation that nobody really has the power to do that. So it all just sort of limps along.
Yeah. In terms of the race for the bottom, Buffalo is 3 points ahead in last. They've got 44. Edmonton's got 47.
Edmonton's doing their best, though, to catch up. They're
hanging tough.
Arizona is at 50 points after they traded everything away at the deadline also.
Fuck you, Arizona. I hate you. McDavid better not go there. I'll burn the entire goddamn league down.
Honestly, I think, from what I understand, Arizona wouldn't want to win the lottery this year.
Oh,
they want to be the worst team next year, because next year the guy that's supposed to be the number one pick is an Arizona native.
Oh, so now they get to do the whole.
Wait, are you telling me one of the top prospects in hockey is from Arizona?
He was born and raised and did his youth hockey in Arizona, but I think he plays junior in Canada now.
Okay,
obviously.
all right.
I think it's Austin Matthews. I think his name is
Austin. What a perfect Southwestern name.
Well, he's from Scottsdale, you know. So as good as it would be for the franchise overall to get a guy like Connor McDavid, to get people to maybe watch their games every now and then. They want the Arizona kid, which I also think is dumb, because that's another year towards the doomsday number on their lease agreement.
Yeah.
So you're gonna have
it'd be hilarious if they drafted that Arizona kid and then the next year they moved to Quebec City.
Oh, I know. See, that's the thing. Like, that's what some of the people are talking about. It's like, well, they don't have the luxury to sit around and wait.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, how long is it? It was 2013, was it? Did they sign that 5-year deal?
Right.
Yeah. So we're in what, year 2 now, right?
3.
Yeah.
2, 3, 2.
It's
yeah.
it's as long as it's been going on as long as the show has, because one of our
we are in the 3rd year of it. Then.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
So once and trust me, they are definitely hitting that 50. What was it? 500.
50 and 5.
50 and 5. Once they are well on their way. I think they got half of it last year. So
yeah.
Once that happens, it's going to be yeah.
Well, in other NHL news, the Sabres are getting rid of those horrible alts that they wear.
Yeah.
So that's nice.
Yeah, supposedly they're getting rid of the alternates. Supposedly the Ducks are getting a new third, which I thought was pretty quick, because they just got technically new homes and roads this year.
I'd like it if they just made their stadium series with maybe a regular logo. I think that would be nice. But,
what do you mean? Oh, yeah, okay.
Instead, get rid of the
not shiny.
Yeah, get rid of the chrome logo and just put the regular D on it.
I mean, that's generally, I think, where everyone thinks they're going to go.
I mean, granted, they are blatant Minnesota North Stars ripoffs, but
yeah, incredibly, it's I don't even know how they get away with it, to be honest.
It's rough. The Islanders are going to get their Brooklyn jersey,
their black Brooklyn hockey jersey, yeah,
right?
With stars, probably. Probably gonna have stars on it.
What else was supposed to be happening? Colorado getting rid of their third for a new one.
Oh, the one, the Colorado Rangers style Colorado one.
Yeah,
which is their nicest jersey, actually.
Because it doesn't have piping on it. As far as the actual good teams in the league are, currently the Los Angeles Kings not in the playoffs.
Woo!
Uh-oh.
Rejoice. San Jose also not in.
They
better not get McDavid either. The Sharks.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, I was just going to say, careful what you wish for here, guys.
They'll be at the lowest end of the percentages. You can only hope. In the West, the Ducks and Predators currently tied at 91 points and 42 wins. Predators technically ahead based on one less game played and one less loss. Actually, it's similar records both ways. 42. Ducks have 20 losses. Nashville has 19, and both teams have 7 overtime losses.
Look at Nashville.
St. Louis, though, in position to pass both of the Ducks and Preds. They have 89 points, and they have 2 games in hand on the Preds, 3 games in hand on the Ducks.
Look at Calgary, though.
Calgary's hanging around. They beat the Ducks last night pretty good.
Calgary.
They're living on third period comebacks, and even with their best defenseman injured for the season, I think they're like plus 36 in the third period over the course of the season.
Wow.
But they're still like minus everything else in the first 2 periods.
Come on, Winnipeg. I'm pulling for Winnipeg to hang in there.
Winnipeg's holding on. They're a point ahead of the Kings. The Kings have a game in hand, though. The Kings are also 2 points behind Calgary with a game in hand.
Well, we got 50, 61. How many games left? About what?
14?
Yeah, something like that. I was going to say 15, yeah.
It depends on the team. Like, the Rangers have 3 games in hand on the Islanders. and are a point ahead of the Islanders over in the East.
Speaking of the Rangers,
they're tied with Montreal with 91 points.
What's going on with this Cam Talbot guy, the goalie?
He's the backup. He's been pretty decent backup.
Yeah, but how
step up while Lundqvist has been injured?
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask. How long is Lundqvist out?
Lundqvist is going to be back by the playoffs.
Okay.
Yeah, he'll play in the playoffs. And I mean, as good as they're playing right now, as good as Rick Nash is scoring for them, they still need Lundqvist at the end of the day when it matters the most.
Boston's been a big surprise. They still haven't pulled it together. I thought Boston would wake up and make a push for it, but
they've won enough games as of late to give them enough distance where I don't think Florida's going to come back, especially with Luongo was hurt there for a minute, and that little hiccup is they're 6 points behind Boston now. With both teams have 16 games remaining.
It doesn't look like Ottawa's going to make it. Ottawa kind of had hope there for a while.
Ottawa had a run. They got this goalie Hammond.
Yeah,
he posted like 3 shutouts, shut the Ducks and Kings out on consecutive nights when they came through California. It was a pretty good little run for them, but ultimately they probably screwed themselves because now they have a worse draft pick than they would if they were just continually sucking. Yeah,
I still think the East representative in the finals is going to come out of the Atlantic. It's either going to be Montreal, Tampa Bay, or Detroit, in my opinion.
Montreal or Tampa. I would love for the Islanders to have a deep playoff run.
I think the Islanders are still a year away from that.
Right, but they're fun, man.
Oh, they are.
John Tavares leading the league in points.
John Tavares
scored a beauty of a game winner against your Maple Leafs.
I know. I know. Hey! I'm not upset about that at all. We need to get as close to the bottom as possible. But no, Tavares is fun to watch. But like this, if the Islanders had made it last year, I think, then I think I'd be more inclined to say that they're going to go far. But I still think they're 1 year away. I maybe they get to the second round, but I don't really see them contending this year. Next year, definitely, if they can keep the pace up, but not this year.
Yeah. Right now, if the playoffs ended today, your playoff matchups would be in the East, the Rangers would be playing Boston.
Mm-hmm.
Montreal would be playing the Caps.
Mm-hmm.
Tampa, Detroit for the Yzer Bowl. And Islanders Pens.
Winner, by the way, of the Yzer Bowl gets a square-shaped pizza pan.
The interesting thing in the East, there's a lot of discrepancy in actual game played numbers between some of these teams.
Yeah.
Tampa Bay has played 68 games, and they're at 90 points. But Detroit has played 65, and they're 5 points behind them. The Rangers only played 66. The Islanders played 69. The Pens only 66. Habs only 67. There's a lot of movement that's still going to go there, and there's some interesting matchups that could happen, but ones that we're probably not going to get. I would love to have Rangers Islanders first round because that game the other day, just like all the games they played this season, was amazing.
Yeah, that would be fun, but I don't know. The NHL schedule has, and this is just an observation I've made just from our fantasy hockey season. It seems like the schedule this year has been really wonky and unbalanced in general.
Yeah, it's been weird. And then you'd have Islanders Penguins. Yeah, I already said that. In the West, right now, you would, by again percentage points and tiebreakers and whatever, Nashville is currently first, so they would play Winnipeg, which I'm sure would be the top spot on the NHL's
Nashville, Winnipeg, smell the ratings.
Yeah, I'm thinking, is that even going to be on television?
It'll be up here. Up here it'll be up.
Yeah, well, I love to watch it because I want to see Winnipeg in the playoffs.
Oh, yeah, I think it'd be great to watch, too, but we're talking, in general, not one with a big, heavy draw there.
I'm pulling for Winnipeg, not even necessarily to win a series. I just want them to win one game so they surpass what they accomplished in Atlanta.
Yeah, that's true. Then you would have Ducks Wild.
That would be a good game, I think. A good series.
Ducks have played the Wild twice before in the playoffs.
So you're didn't they play the Wild on their way to their Stanley Cup appearance in 03?
Well, yeah, they played them in the Western Conference Final. J.S. Jaguar shut them out for 3.5 games.
Yeah, that was a weird year in the West because it's like the Western Conference. It's the Mighty Ducks and the Wild. What the fuck happened?
Well, the Wild were the 6th seed and the Ducks were the 7th seed.
Yeah, I know.
So that was weird. Then you would have St. Louis, Chicago, which would be a great series.
That'd be a good series.
As it always
Calgary,
is.
Which would be another great series, I think.
The Vancouver-Calgary. Yeah, but Vancouver-Calgary has lost a bit of its charm now that Tortorella isn't there to threaten Bob's life.
True, but it would still be interesting. It'd be interesting to see what NBC would do with an all-Canadian series down here.
Ooh.
It would all...
Nashville-Winnipeg would be bad, but at least they'd get something from Nashville. Would they get anything from Vancouver-Calgary?
They probably wouldn't even show it, if I had to guess.
That would probably be the series that's relegated to NHL Network appearances.
Yeah.
And by NHL Network appearances, I mean just taking TSN's feed. Rogers' feed.
Rogers. No, excuse me, we are past the days of TSN. We are in the age of Strombo and Rogers Sportsnet. Thank you very much.
StromboNet.
Ah, fuck Strombo. You're not Ron.
The Columbus Blue Jackets currently tied with the Toronto Maple Leafs, 60 points apiece. But
we've got 2 games
Blue
in hand.
Jackets, 2 games in hand. The Blue Jackets got to man up and lose those games.
Speaking of, I just wanted to say too, really quick, that James Wisniewski going to win the cup for the Ducks now. That's the thing. So,
right,
you're welcome, Zach.
Columbus made a deadline deal, and now he's done. Yeah. My grandfather's not happy about it. He remembers.
No, he's not, is he?
No, he remembers when Wisniewski played here the first time, and he made some defensive lapses, sure, because he's an aggressive defenseman. But I think he makes up for it with his offensive capabilities. And he tried to. He's like, so he told me the other day or yesterday after the Ducks lost. He's like, how many games has Wisniewski played for us? And I said, the last 2. And how many of those games have we won? Well, 0. That's my case.
So as far as he's concerned, he's been completely vindicated.
A happened and then B happened, so A caused B. Simple as that.
Right, I know. But anyway, that's the world of puck.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, Zach's Tabs.
Zach's Tabs!
Put 30 seconds on the clock and let's play our game.
Springfield, Illinois. Their mayor had an interesting key to the city ceremony the other day.
Okay.
Now, I want you to click on this link and tell me who is receiving this key from the mayor of Springfield, Illinois.
That is Cobra Commander.
The Cobra Commander from G.I. Joe.
Nice.
Got the key to the city.
Okay.
Because they're having a G.I. Joe collectors convention, G.I. Joe Con, April 9th in Springfield, Illinois.
I'm pretty sure this might constitute treason against the United States.
It's very true. Very true. In music news, you know that awful song Blurred Lines, right?
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Yeah,
well, a court decision was reached the other day, and Robin Thicke and Pharrell Williams will have to pay $7.3 million in damages to the family of Marvin Gaye. The song Blurred Lines sounded pretty much exactly like Marvin Gaye's 1997 #1 hit, Got to Give It Up.
Mm-hmm.
So the family heard it on the radio one day and said, hey, that sounds familiar. And went to court and sued them.
What about the damages? Do they have to pay us any damages for subjecting us to that shit, or do we just have to put up with it?
Unfortunately, it's just something that we'll have to deal with.
All right.
Awful Announcing was able to get the ratings from Wall Street Journal, from Awful Announcing. The U.S. cities in which each sport ranks the highest.
Okay.
So some of these make sense. Like Louisville, Kentucky watches the most college basketball. Birmingham, Alabama, #1 for college football.
Mm-hmm. Makes sense.
#1 market for NBC's Sunday Night Football. What do you think?
Okay. I'm going to go with Houston.
Nope.
Mike?
This is tough. I'm going to say Boston.
New Orleans has been the top-rated market for Sunday Night Football 3 of the last 5 seasons.
Huh, okay.
I would not have guessed that one at all.
NASCAR.
Not top market for NASCAR?
Yeah.
I'm going to go with Charlotte.
Yeah, somewhere in the Carolinas.
Yep.
Right state, wrong market. Greensboro.
Okay, that makes sense.
The highest-rated NASCAR market. Fox says the highest market for its MLB coverage,
St. Louis,
is St. Louis.
See, I was going to go with Chicago.
Fucking.
Of course,
Now,
it's
here's
St. Louis.
All those Bosnians are inflating their numbers.
Here's an interesting one. The ratings for NBA on TNT. I'm going to let you guess, but I'm also going to put this forward. It'll probably help you out with picking what team is or what city is the highest rated. Miami was the highest rated team over the last 3 years.
So it's Cleveland.
Yes.
It's all about
Cleveland ranks
LeBron.
first. Whenever LeBron's in your town, you got to watch, I guess.
Yeah, well, you know what? I tuned in a Cavs game the other night. I could only get through about 10 minutes of it, but I did turn it on, so I suppose so.
What city would you think has the highest ratings for the Winter Olympics?
Ooh. Los Angeles.
Seattle.
Minneapolis, St. Paul.
Okay, that actually makes sense.
That makes sense.
Okay.
But here's one that doesn't make sense.
Mm-hmm.
The number one for the Summer Olympics.
Los Angeles.
No.
All right.
Buffalo.
No.
Okay.
Mormons like themselves some sprinting. It's the Salt Lake City.
No way.
Salt Lake.
Yeah.
Salt Lake City. So the Mormons are really into the summer. Okay, look at that.
Yeah.
That is
strange, right?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
What do you think?
It's good, wholesome entertainment.
How about the highest ratings for the PGA for golf?
Oh, that's got to be. I'm gonna go
Scottsdale, Arizona.
Yeah, I was gonna say like Phoenix or somewhere like that. Yeah.
Oklahoma City.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
That's wild.
And for Wimbledon, what do you think? What's American city gets the highest ratings for Wimbledon?
New York.
New York would be my guess too.
The former capital of the Confederate States of America, Richmond, Virginia.
Okay, that is odd.
Richmond, Virginia loves them some Wimbledon. Look at that.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, man. Strange, right?
Barely beat out NASCAR and tractor pulls for the number one spot.
Yeah, that's true. Let's move it along. The San Francisco Examiner has somehow given Jay Mariotti another job.
Wow.
Yeah, Jay Mariotti, known as probably the biggest douchebag of all sports columnists of all time ever.
I was going to say biggest douchebag of all time, period. Just
yeah,
ever.
He's up there.
Yeah.
He's been named the sports director and a columnist for the San Francisco Examiner.
Wow. They must be desperate.
I guess.
Didn't he get all that? Because didn't he flip out over an ex-girlfriend or something? And
he had a domestic violence incident.
Yeah.
He also, at one point, called, did Ozzie Guillen call him a fucking fag, or did Jay Mariotti call Ozzie Guillen a fucking fag?
I think it was Ozzie Guillen called him. Yeah.
Either way, people should be embarrassed about how that went down.
Yeah, one way or the other, that happened.
Right.
Yeah. Final thing. There is a Indonesian clothing company, Salvo Sports. They create jerseys and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
They had to make an apology for a sexist shirt label this week.
Okay.
Inside the shirt where it has the washing instructions, where it says like the shirt and the size, that says washing instructions. Usually it says, cold water, tumble dry, etc. This one says washing instructions. Give this jersey to your woman. It's her job.
Oh, God.
Hanger effect, right? Isn't that what they call that?
Hanger effect.
Yeah, there you go. There's some hanger effect for you.
Yeah, the give this jersey to your woman is in smaller letters. The it's her job is in letters twice the size and bold.
Nice.
So,
wow.
Somebody saw that and was like, hey, that's not cool, bro.
It's pretty funny.
Could have said, get me a sandwich while you're at it. Wash this shirt and make me a sandwich.
Woman.
Yeah, if I pulled the
it's
stunt...
not even like give this to your wife, it's give this to your woman.
Right.
It's her job.
If I pulled that stunt here, I'd be asking one of you guys if I could stay with you from that point forward. All right. Is that it?
That's all the tabs fit to print.
Follow us on Twitter at Basically Sports. Go to the website, basicallyasportshow.com. And Stay tuned for details on the 2015 Glorious Tournament of Victory.
Glorious. Tournament. Oh, victory.
Yeah, Andy will be back, and it's going to be a romping, stomping good time. And with that, we're going to...
Stomping, huh?
That's all I can come up with, man.
Okay.
Taking down the hockey talk.
That's going to do it for us. We will see you next time.
See ya.
Please hang up and try again.